Hey, Logan, it's Nancy here, and thank you for writing such a great portfolio. I really enjoyed the cover letter. I feel like you're thinking a lot about what are the reasons that we write, and I just got this sense all the way through reading it that you're kind of making your own relationship with language now and with the act of writing. Like it's really becoming your tool, not just something you do because teachers say you have to do it and so on. This fun for me to put myself in different perspectives. Made me think a lot about how to turn something that is so small into something that is big. All of this kind of observation, shows like, oh, that's why it's there, to get us to notice how much our mind is doing and to be conscious of it. And also some lines like this one that really felt like you are using it as a tool through which you can experience yourself more clearly, not just the world outside you, but the things going on inside. So I really appreciate how much you put into these and also how much you put into the cover letter. It helps us see the feelings and details from afar, a different perspective. And I think that's true. It really does. Writing, that is, and maybe poetry in particular, of all the kinds of writing, help us see deeper into what's going on in and outside of us. And I love that it's a confidence builder for you too. I put the little heart here, confident in my own writing, because I think, that's what that greater mental power should do for us. It should help us feel more powerful. My three favorite poems were your phobia poem. I just think it's very original. The dullness of white blinds you, hurts you, makes you spiral, makes you want to scream. The lightness staring back at you, making you feel closed in. The horrific color. Nobody, everyone thinks of white as like the color of goodness, and you're really flipping it on its head like, oh yeah, unless you're scared of it. I'm suggesting anytime you see these parentheses, to me, that's a place you might think about taking a word out. Do we need brightness? It's more predictable way to describe white, right? Surprising is the dullness of white. So maybe just go straight for that. Makes you spiral, makes you want to scream. Maybe you don't need the makes twice, just one thought. You want to watch out using a lot of INGs. Remember how that kind of dulls the verb. So the lightness staring back at you makes you feel closed in. You might try that variation there. But overall, just great wordplay. And lots of details there. I'm just going to scan some of the comments on the other poems, and you can pause the film to read those if you want to look at some details. Checks mean great. Here again, you'll see the parentheses saying, maybe leave this out. All right. Sounds of the Wind, that was another favorite of mine. That's what the little asterisk at the top of something means. I thought it was really vivid and paying close attention to the wind itself. I love how it builds, and then also at the end we are reminded, don't worry, it'll calm down eventually, but the poem itself is about the building. My other third favorite is The Smallest Detail. You really got this one. And I think everybody can relate to this, like when there's that one little thing that's wrong with your garment and you can't fix it because everything's just going to fall apart. And I love the use of exaggeration here. I wondered, this might be a poem where you could play around with some rearrangement. Maybe I can't cut it. It knows that too. That might be a nice sharp ending for this poem. So you might think about that. Sometimes I start playing around with alternate words. As big as a snake. I like big as a snake, but big is a fairly plain adjective, and sometimes that's exactly what's called for, but you could play around with what is this kind of bigness that you're seeing, and there might be a more precise word for that. Is it the fatness, the thick as a snake, long as a snake? Would be worth playing around with. I like sleep is really fun. You might try these stanzas in reverse order. This is one where, again, sequencing could be something great to play around with. This line is that kind of like, well, now I have to write a conclusion for my essay. Wow, I really do need to sleep. You know what? After reading this poem, we are so aware of that. You don't need to tell us. That's just something we know by then. Hope comes in all forms. There were some things in here I also loved. You're in the middle of a tornado as the world continues on. That, God, don't we all feel like that sometimes? But people are there. They're all around you, rooting for you to win. This game of life, I think we've heard before, maybe a little cliche, but I love the idea of like the poet is reminding everybody, you know what? They're there. The people are there. Just because we don't feel like they're there doesn't mean they're not. So to keep that in mind it's a wonderful message to share. The coffee. Yes. This is a beautiful moment. This day, you're going to be okay. I love that. It was hard for me to choose my favorites. They all had something to recommend them. It hits me, this sudden rush. I love the You're really playing with sounds there. Does my poet's heart good. Rush of ocean waves. Towards the end, I'm wanting it to take a jump into some new territory, spice things up a little. So this could be an interesting one to play around with. You might have more message in there than you realize yet. But I love the last line, I will be able to breathe again. Somehow got all alone on the next page. Sounds is a beautiful one. This is so full of sound. I love the details there. Great eye for detail. I love that you're, having the courage to just leave the punctuation out, see what happens if you just trust the line breaks and the language. And for these poems, it's really working very well. I don't know if you need the first line there, right? Maybe Narcissist is the title, and then you just jump right in. The way they suck the energy out of me. Turn everything, there's that ing we don't necessarily need, and everything into an argument full of ego. Can't stand to be wrong. They think they're smart. Yeah, we know them. The next one, I wondered if Just Toxic might be a great title. We figure out that it's about his girlfriend, or someone he's in love with anyway, in the course of the poem. And it's really painful. I mean, we've all seen this when someone is not being made to feel much joy and comfort by the person they're with. Yes. I think something just happened so that everything got bumped one page forward when I printed it. Anyway, this is a beautiful portfolio, and I'm just gonna give it an A. I hope you can be satisfied with that. Great cover letter, tough time choosing my favorites, and a beautiful job all around with the sounds, the line breaks, the word choices, the images, the details, the ideas. You really worked every aspect of the skills it takes to be a poet, and you did a beautiful job. Thank you.